Shall we start? All right, let's first discuss the financial management syllabus. There are going to be three areas in financial management. One is investing decision, the second one is financing decision, and the third one is dividend decision. The syllabus has been divided amongst most important areas and the least important areas. Six core areas include capital investment appraisal, there's weighted average cost of capital, there's sources of finance, there's risk management, business valuation and dividend policy, and working capital management. These six core areas include most of calculations. We do have theory, but mostly this is calculation based. Three non-core areas include microeconomics, objectives of financial management, and Islamic finance. That is pure theory. Then we have to discuss the paper pattern. The paper pattern consists of section A, B, and C. You know that F9 is now a computer-based paper, and the paper pattern includes 15 MCQs, 2 marks each in section A, which makes a total of 30 marks. Then in section B, 3 MTQs, 10 marks each, that makes a total of 30 marks. In section C, 2 long questions, 20 marks each, which makes a total of 40 marks. So in total, this is going to be 100 marks, and you will have to practice a lot on the Excel now, which I'll make sure that you do. Obviously, we'll be solving questions over Excel. We'll be doing a lot of past papers. We'll be doing a lot of kit questions so that we build concepts, and also we are going to work on the time management because a lot of students are not able to complete their paper on time, which is another issue why they do not pass. Now, the first topic of capital investment appraisal. This capital investment appraisal chapter relates to capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. You must have heard capital expenditure term in F3 and then in F7 if you are done with F7. So, capital expenditure is any amount that you spend for a long time period and from which you're expecting returns over a long time period, or is any amount that you're spending which has a big amount and returns from it are also expected over a long time period. However, revenue expenditure is such an expenditure whose amount is very small and its are also very small. Now, time value of money concept is one of the most important concepts that are related to capital investment appraisal. But first, let's discuss capital investment itself. It is any investment that you are going to do for a longer amount of time and through which you're getting returns over a longer amount of time. For example, project. You invest your money, let's say $1 lakh into the project, and the project life is 4 years. So every year you're going to get a particular amount in return. Okay. Time value of money means that if today you hold a particular amount of money, that same money, if you hold after a year, they both are not going to buy the same amount of goods. Why? Because as time passes by, the value for money falls down. Therefore, for example, if you're buying a burger from $100 today, you might not be able to buy the same burger in a year's time with those same $100. You might have to spend $150 now to buy that same burger. Are we clear up till now? All right. Now, time value of money is also related to some other concepts. Inflation is one of those concepts that tells you that the price level is going to increase generally in an economy. Overall, the price level does increase in an economy if there's inflation. Inflation itself means that there is an increase in the general price level. Then potential for earning interest. Potential for earning interest means how much interest can you earn on a particular amount. For example, if a friend of yours comes to you and says that, okay, you have saved this $1,000, can you lend it to me? And you're going to say, okay, but in how much time period are you going to give it back? And he says, after a year. You tell him that, okay, then if you're planning to pay after a year, you must pay me $1,500, let's say. And he is going to be like, why? So you need to mention that if I am buying a particular basket of goods in today's date, with this $1,000, I'll get all that I want. But after a year's time, if I am planning to buy that same amount of goods or same basket of goods, so I'll get that in $1,500. So you must bear um, an extra $500 and you must give it to me because that is my loss when I am lending the money to you. So you must compensate for it with interest amount. So 500 is going to be the interest amount. Then risk. Risk is something that an investor really uh, carefully takes a look at when it comes to, um, you know, making sure that you need to make a good investment. So if an investor is willing to take high risk, then only he'll be willing to take high returns because high risk, high returns. So if a person is willing to take high risk, he'll get high returns. But if a person who is willing to take low risks, he cannot get high returns. He'll have to settle for lower returns only. Then we have the concept of interest. Interest is any amount, any additional amount that you're going to earn on your invested amount. So there are two kinds of interest. One is simple interest and the other is compound interest. The simple interest means that you're going to receive interest yearly on the principal amount only. Principal amount means the same amount that you invested. So $1,000 is your principal amount, 10% is your interest rate. And if you see the example, every year we are getting $100. Why? Because 10% of $1,000 would give you $100 every year. You are going to compute the interest every year in the same manner, 10% on 1,000, 10% on 1,000, and 10% on 1,000 in simple interest. So by the end, you get $1,300. But in case of compound interest, interest is received yearly on the compounded amount, which means interest is going to be $1,000 and interest rate will be 10%. In year one, you'll get 10% on $1,000. In year two, you will get 10% on $1,100. Why 1,100? Because 1,000 plus year one's interest. Then in year three, you're going to get interest on 10% on 1,210, which means $121 is the interest amount that you're going to get. Are we clear? So, any confusions, any queries? We are also going to do technical articles. We'll do all practices properly. We are going to start off from learning about the concept first. Then we'll do some small examples. Then we'll move to bigger examples, and then we'll move to past paper questions. All right. Then we are going to stop right here. I am going to provide you with the admin's number so that you can WhatsApp him if you need to register. And that will be all for today. No problem. Take care. Bye bye.